We here for the latest, south side or the north side, not tuned to the greatest. Home team for the home teams, both sides got our own rings, on the mound or the long ball, but we don't pull the wrong strings, yeah. It's that time of the year now, Wrigley or Ganty, so the whole league that we hear now. New show with a new mood, discussions and interviews, trade rumors that might be, this is Pinwheels and Knife.
Yeah, but you can put it on the boat.
What's going on, everybody? This is the Pinwheels and Ivy podcast. We're just doing the social media standard tweeting out. I think we're good though, right, Aldo?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, let me just get to this page here. And all right. You guys ready?
Yes.
All right. 3, 2, 1. What's going on, everybody? It is Thursday, September 2nd, and you have reached the Pinwheels and Ivy podcast. I am your host, Matt Zwoski, a.k.a. Father Zoe, a.k.a. Southside Zoe. I got a lot of AKAs. I had to figure out which one I was going to go with there. With me, as always, Mr. Aldo Soto.
Not to say the Cubs lost the war, lost this past weekend against the Sox, 2 of 3. However, shout out to Patrick Wisdom for showing out for me and completely owning Beef Loaf.
Damn, dude, you couldn't even get like 2 minutes into the show. You had that thing cocked and ready
That
to
is
go,
all
dude.
I have, Zoe. That is, we have to celebrate. I'm taking my Sox summer advice. Got to celebrate the small victories because at this point, that's all we have.
I mean, all right, we'll talk about that a little bit more. And the good Reverend K. Fids.
I was watching our school board meeting before this, so I figured tuning into our podcast is probably the least crazy thing we'll do tonight because there was actually a guy that prayed to a blood god. So that happened. I was just waiting, though, for somebody to at least go off on a tangent about Tom Ricketts, because that's what I would have used the school board microphone for, is to complain about Tom Ricketts and the blood.
Blood Gang guy, is he a teacher?
Yes, but no.
Okay, I thought he'd be like an academic advisor or something.
Oh, no. Yeah, well, he's no.
Yep. So
it was he had a banner and everything that was pretty. He had props.
At least he came prepared.
He did.
We got a lot to talk about on the show. We're gonna recap the Cubs White Sox series in the only way we know how. We'll talk about how badly these two jinxed them by going on the 108 show, and I got some feedback from that 108 show for you two, and you will listen to everything I have to say because I have a microphone.
But so do we.
Do you, Zoe?
You got
White Sox are doing a little bit of a roster shuffle. We'll talk about, what we think Tony's doing as they head into the home stretch here before the playoffs. Cubs are,
They're playing games.
They're playing. Wisdom.
They have equipment.
Wisdom is now officially on my radar after the Cubs Sox weekend, and that Schleigel guy, he's hitting pretty good too. Schwindel. There you go. He's hitting pretty good too. So we'll touch base on that, and then we'll also see if Jeff Passan has been arrested for the murder he committed on Twitter today.
He could murder someone in downtown Twitter, and no one will catch him.
So that and much, much more. As always, if you're watching us live on Wednesday night here, go ahead, jump in that comment section. I know the White Sox are playing the Pirates as we record this. It's not that interesting. Watch the show while you got the game on the TV. Put the TV on mute. Jump in, talk to us. And if you're listening to us on one of the podcast networks or venues or whatever you call it, we appreciate you. Thank you very much. But you should definitely try to check out the live show. So all that being said, let's tap this keg. As always, the show is really brought to you by us. We're really pushing for those YouTube subscribers now. So make sure you're going. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. You can turn on the bell notification, but we go live every Wednesday night. So, that's pretty simple to manage, guys. But make sure you're subscribing. Tell your friends to subscribe. Go to the Apple Store. Subscribe on all those products. If you teach a class, preferably of the high school age, and they all have phones, make them all subscribe to the YouTube channel. Yeah, we got to hit 1,000 YouTube subscribers, guys. That's the goal. So let's get that popping. So, the Cubs and Sox played for the second go around, this time on the south side of Chicago, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And if you liked offense, boy, did we got a series for you.
That was actually a
Because
lot of fun.
you know what? The games were way more enjoyable than I thought they would be.
Yeah.
They really were. And I mean, even the Saturday game where, yeah, we definitely need the Blood God to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Absolutely, Jack. That is a good call. Kevin, please get on that. But it started out Friday night. You had Raylo versus Samson. Runs were aplenty as the White Sox won by 2 touchdowns and a field goal to 2 touchdowns with a missed extra point. 17-13. That's fun to me. I like those games every once in a while.
It is funny that you said it was Raylo against Adrian Sampson because the White Sox starter was Dallas Keuchel. Who was trash.
I was trying not to say that. Well, you know what? We might as well address
Well, I mean,
it.
we have to. That was
Yeah.
I put out the poll question like right that night. Does Dallas Keuchel make the postseason roster? And it was like 90-10. No.
Dude, I know there's been a couple times this season where I've told people like Dallas Keuchel's not cooked. Like Jake Arrieta's cooked.
I think you
Dallas
said it
Keuchel's
right
not
before
cooked.
the start last week.
Yo, I might be changing my tune on that because Keuchel just looked uninspired. He looked like he wanted to be any other place in the world but that mound. And I mean, not for nothing. I know the teams are on opposite ends of the like playoff spectrum right now, but you still got to get up for a Friday night game
Full
at home
house, for the most
versus
part.
the Cubs. Yeah, in a full house. Like, you got to get up at least a little bit. And he looked like he wanted to be anywhere else but that mound. And he was throwing like 86 mile an hour down the middle.
But I mean, that's usually. I mean, I know. Well, maybe I know a little bit, but I don't know if that's a good formula for success. Is throwing 86 mile an hour fastball down the heart of the plate. I mean,
And honestly,
they're pro hitters, but I don't know.
it wasn't just that start because I think I sent out I sent you the tweet of the 5 starters.
Aldo's fault.
Well, that's right. We talk about guys making excuses. Dallas Keuchel for the past couple of years has been a guy who's when he struggled, he's made some excuses.
And I don't mean to cut you off, Aldo, but like those excuses have been wild too. Like,
I think he was blaming outfielders,
outfield,
the defense.
Yeah, he's blaming shifts. He's blaming outfield. He's blaming everyone else besides Dallas Keuchel. But sorry, Aldo, go ahead, finish.
Oh no, but, I mean, and that goes to the other point. Like it wasn't just like the Friday start, and it hasn't just been like one start here, one start there. Jordan Lazowski, like he put out the numbers for the second half. He has like an ERA close to 7. He's been awful.
It's been bad. He really just looks uninspired. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about his fiance coming after people in DMs, but if that's true,
what? Oh, yeah, brother! Wait, what is this?
Yeah, Alex, message me on the side, Alex. You know where to find me.
Wait, no, Alex. If you're bringing this to the show, you gotta bring it in the chat.
Yeah.
He also,
man.
Because he threw an 85 mile an hour fastball that Patrick Wisdom hit to the moon.
I was just going to say Patrick Wisdom took his uninspiration 450 feet and almost put it on the Comcast stack.
Which means that's all Wisdom power, none of Keuchel.
Right.
Keuchel provided none of that. So that actually, I didn't even think about that.
I was actually just going to say, like, Patrick was, after this weekend, Patrick Wisdom 100% is on my, that dude's got some raw power. He's also extremely handsome. And
yes.
He's a very good third. The White Sox tested him at third base. He was getting fucking missile after missile shot at him over there, and he answered the bell every time. But that 400, it was literally 448 feet in the first inning off of Dallas Keuchel. But as someone who's watched almost every White Sox game since they moved into this new guaranteed Comiskey rate Park Stadium, whatever. If Brian Goodwin would shift into the Goose Island, I wouldn't have gave up that bomb.
Really good.
I have never seen someone come that close to putting it on the Comcast kids deck. That's that area up there. They got like a
up
little
there
field.
in left center.
Yeah, in left center, and the kids go up there and they play around and shit. Like, I have never seen anyone come that close. And I mean, homeboy was just missed it when he hit. I was at a fantasy football draft when he hit that, and there's a couple of my buddies that are Cubs fans. We're all just sitting there. Every Cubs fans, Sox fans, everybody there was just like, damn. Like, that was a serious bomb, dude. Serious bomb.
Even the biggest Cubs hater around had to put up some respect for Patrick Wisdom. Ken WO even was like, holy shit. I mean, that was a monster bomb.
It was a monster bomb. And I mean, guys like Ken WO, they just, anybody that hits bombs, they're all about. But Keuchel leaves the inning after 1 inning pitched, giving up 7 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, with a 5 ERA, just because it was like a mercy pull. But man, was that it was so bad on so many different levels. I don't know. He looks so uninspired. To me, there's no way. If he makes the playoff roster, it's as the long reliever.
But see, that's the thing, because
I don't even know
we
if he
saw
can
it
do
that game. Ronaldo Lopez is already that guy.
Yeah. Oh, Ray. Yeah. But that's good point, because Radel comes in 5 innings pitched, no hits, 7 Ks.
Yeah, I think it was 5 perfect innings. I think it was 15 up, 15 down.
And he looked, dude, Raylo, since that LASIK surgery, it's still hilarious to me that it took this fucking long to get this guy LASIK surgery.
They need to make that a card in MLB The Show, like the LASIK card. You get a bonus or something.
LASIK Raylo,
yeah,
or 94 overall,
or at least paint on his catcher's finger something that he can see. For Pete's sake, jeez, Pete,
he's been incredible.
Not seeing the numbers is why he wasn't throwing strikes. So I mean,
you guys heard
him not throw down like a glowing finger or something.
You guys heard that? Yeah. So you heard that interview? Did we talk about it on the show?
No. But I don't necessarily really think that.
No, they asked him how the LASIK has helped him improve his pitching. He's like, my mechanics are all still the same, but now I could actually see what pitch the catcher wants.
Here's me going, why did they not fix? Even without LASIK, why are you not doing whatever you can to fix that? Why aren't you using additional signs?
And I agree with you.
If they're not doing this stuff, he didn't tell them that he couldn't see the sign in the first place.
Get going.
It's gone.
Giving Sheets, motherfucker.
3-run Jack.
Giving fucking Sheets.
Right.
That's my new guy, dude. He is taking magical spots.
And I still disagree with you, Alex. I think it's a BS excuse, because if he didn't tell the rest of the team that, and they didn't do anything to try and at least adjust to that, then he kept that to himself and is now using that as an excuse now that he's pitching well. It just doesn't make sense to me. Again, if you can't see the signs, there are other ways to get the signs. It's not like you can go full body signs from a catcher. If you can't see, you tell them I can't see, and you do something about it. So he either kept it to himself, and which sucks because then they couldn't make an adjustment. You left them out there to dry, or he's just now like, oh yeah, this is why I'm pitching well, even though it really is a change in mechanics or something, or just confidence. But
I mean, that's the weird thing, because I swear to God, early in the year, he was still struggling. He was walking a whole bunch of guys in AAA. And I know the ball is different or whatever, but he was still looking bad. And just when he came up, he was, I don't know, something's been clicking for him.
Yeah, but it wasn't the right thing.
He said he couldn't. So, like, the catcher throws down the hand signs. He said he wasn't really sure what the catcher was throwing down, so he would throw something in the middle of like a fastball and slider and hope that it. And so it turned out to be meat. And that's why he was getting rocked.
That's dumb.
If it's a pride thing, it's dumb. If it's a coach missing something, that's negligence.
How would the coach know he can't see unless he tells him?
Exactly.
I mean, don't the teams do physicals? I forget who brought it up a few weeks ago. Like, isn't that a thing you can see early, like in spring training?
I will say this though: baseball players are strange creatures.
Raylo, how many fingers am I holding up?
Yeah, right.
If they believe something is making them play better, then even if it has nothing to do with reality, they're going to – I think that bunny tails being out for a hitter leads to home runs. Now, is that really true? Probably not. I don't know. I haven't done a scientific study on it yet, but I believe that when a guy goes to the plate with a bunny tail by accident, he's going to hit a home run. Whatever these guys believe, they generally gives them the confidence to believe that, but I don't see how how someone being blind and not seeing signs, which would piss me off as a catcher, getting crossed up all the time. I'd beat a pitcher's ass if it kept crossing me up and not throwing what I call. Like a catcher's going to beat someone's ass eventually. So I don't know. Like I just don't believe that. Again, a catcher, if a catcher throws down a 1 and you throw a curveball or a slider or a 2-seamer, not a 4-seamer, A, you're going to get him hurt. B, the catcher's going to be like, dude, what the hell? I just called this. So that's a weird. I don't know.
Funny. So Alex says he wouldn't put it past Don Cooper not to notice it. I picture a scenario where young Raylo goes to Cooper. He's like, yo, man, I can't see. And Cooper's like, that's bullshit. You can see fine. Get the fuck out there. And then he never said anything again. Like, he
So I think Alex.
He walks past Dan
the...
Cooper. He walks past Dan and goes, hey, Ricky. And then walks by,
Yep.
What?
So Alex says he got it in mid-May, the LASIK surgery. I'm looking at his numbers. In the month of June, he had a 9.16 ERA.
Takes a minute, dude.
In July, he had a 5.79 ERA.
Getting better.
And then after that, he was called up to the Sox, and that's when he's dominated.
Yep. He was just saving it.
I mean, whatever it is, good for him and bad for Dallas Keuchel.
If you believe it, it makes it so sometimes, man. That's the weird part about sports and athletes and creatures of habit and routine. So you know what? If it was the LASIK that gave him the confidence to believe in himself, then it was the LASIK that gave him the magic powers. I used to think Pro Wings made me run faster too. So, but you do have a Keuchel issue because that dude is in essence a blowout innings eater at this point.
I have to ask you again, Zoe. So at this point, your prediction: does Dallas Keuchel make the postseason roster?
I can't justify it right now.
Yeah, because the thing is, again, the rotation is set. Like it's the 4 other guys as long as they're healthy. It's those 4 guys. You don't need a 5th starter in the postseason,
right?
And it's just at that point, all right, who's going to be your first guy, like long relief guy? And at this point, how can you not go Ronaldo Lopez over Dallas Keuchel? But
right.
Forget about the experience or not. Who's pitching good right now? Who's pitching well? It's clearly one guy.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you referenced that tweet earlier. If you put all the White Sox starters since the All-Star break next to each other, it's like good, really good. Oh, that's great. That's good. Oh, what? it's he stands out like a sore thumb. I mean,
and
love him, hate him, whatever you think about Dallas Keuchel. I challenge someone to give me a legit argument on why he should be on the playoff roster.
Well, you know what makes it worse? You know whose statistics since the All-Star break makes it even worse for Dallas Keuchel? Dylan Cease.
Well, yeah. Well, he's been
his numbers since the All-Star break are incredible. Compared to even the rest of the league, not just in the White Sox rotation, which is again 3-4 guys now that are popping up on the top 10 lists. He has been really good. So you've got a bunch of guys hitting at a high level off the bump, and then you've got one guy that's like he's kind of that albatross. That's kind of like, those guys are competitive and they want to have the best starting rotation in baseball. And they're like, come on, man, can you not give up 7 runs and 6 runs in the first inning now? That just killed our ERA for like 2 weeks. Right. Gio's going to have to go throw a smoke ring for 7, and then when we get when Cease goes out there, he's going to go shut out the Pirates. I mean, well, that's not too bad, but all of a sudden you got to get two shutouts,
right? Just
to get it back down from Keuchel. And these guys want to have the best staff in baseball, and they want to have like a number that shows that, statistically. So that's also kind of a fun little game within the game.
And here's the thing: like Keuchel's next scheduled start is Friday against Kansas City. He'll probably go out and throw 5 great innings against fucking Kansas City, and people will be like, "Oh, he's fine." It's Kansas City, man. Like, come on.
I mean, it's the Cubs. Sorry, one of the worst teams.
No, that's very true. I guess, yeah. I mean, that's a very valid counterpoint. Right now, Keuchel's other scheduled start is Thursday, September 9th in Oakland. That's not going to be pretty.
Well, we saw what happened in Oakland last October.
Right.
That kind of seems like the beginning of the.
Exactly.
Dallas Keuchel, maybe not that good.
And I know he's had lingering back issues, and I definitely don't need to make excuses for him. He gives out enough by himself, but like, I don't know, man.
Do you have concern that if he doesn't end up on the postseason roster, he's going to create a negative kind of situation for the group, the collective, as they head into the postseason, which is obviously the most important thing?
I would hope
who's on the roster compared to winning the World Series.
I would hope as someone that has been touted as a clubhouse leader, someone who has won a World Series, someone who's been praised for his mentorship towards younger players, that he would be a fucking man and just admit it and move on. All that being said, yes, that concerns me. I could totally see him being the type of guy to call up his favorite reporter and be like, let's do an interview, and just trying to talk a ton of shit about everybody while they're in the playoffs.
Second question on this. Do you think that if he were to do that, some of the inner sanctum stuff that he would probably kind of trickle out there would be Tony La Russa related, which would be easy pickings for the people that might jump on that too or at that point, do you think even that group of Sox fans would be like, shut up, Dallas, we got work to do? Like, that's what I'm curious, because if he used his little Tony said this one time, do you think the La Russa, the group that doesn't like La Russa in the fan base would be like, oh, or they'd be like, shh, we don't do that.
I don't think Dallas is dumb. I think he knows that if he wants to get them, if he's gonna go this route, which again I really hope he doesn't, but if he's gonna go this route, I don't think he's dumb not to know that if he wants to get the most out of it, he'll bring up some La Russa dirt, because he knows as soon as he says Tony La Russa, the fucking pitchfork carrying mob that hates everything that Tony does will blow it up tenfold. And I think he'll go that. I mean, if you're going to do it, go big. And that's him going big, is he'll just be like, Tony told me he hates Cubans or something, like, you know what I mean? Like, he'll just say something crazy like that, which would be a death sentence on this White Sox team, because that's 90% of the roster. But
the only thing I could see from Keuchel, I don't think it would be anything during or before. Because I mean, I'm pretty sure they're gonna have a good idea what the playoff roster is gonna be, like maybe a couple of days before the playoffs start or whatever. Mm-hmm. And he'll be like, I don't envision like a story coming out before or during the playoffs, but I could see like after, like, say the White Sox win, right? They win it all, like fucking great postseason, they win the World Series, but Dallas Keuchel at no point is on the postseason roster. I can see like later on, like December, January, whatever, just sometime middle of the offseason. I forget who the Blackhawks player was in one of their last Stanley Cups who was like, yeah, I was kind of cheering against him because I wasn't playing.
Right.
Like and I can see Keuchel making like a similar remark and then hiding behind, oh, I'm just competitive, I wanted to be out there.
Well, that's true too. And I would hope a majority, because I don't dare say all, but a majority of Sox fans would be smart enough to be like, this is a man who's scoring right now. Like, he's just talking shit because he didn't make a playoff roster. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
and I think Alex is right. I don't think any of this would happen. Honestly. I think.
Whoop. Kevin, you turn your echo thing on? No, now it's gone. I don't know. Whatever. I think we're spending a little too much. I really don't think he'll do it, but Kevin brings up, it's definitely a possibility. I mean, it's not cool that his lady's blowing up people's DMs, telling people not to talk shit, but that's a good point. There's money involved too. The organization controls whether he gets another $20 million in 2023. So.
But I mean, I think at this point, he's not getting that.
If you don't make the playoff roster, there's no way.
He's not. Yeah, I think at this point, the Sox are like, God damn it, we still have you for next year.
But so I want to bring up another. So that was Friday. Saturday, the White Sox just couldn't hit worth a shit. Cubs showed up to play. Cubs won 7-0.
Mills.
Shut out by the nerd that we used to copy off in science class. That's the best. It was the pre-Hendricks, and he's the nerd that we all used to be like, bro.
And it was, as a Sox fan, it was insanely frustrating to watch that game, but good for the Cubs for showing up. Lance Lynn, after the game, one of the things I really appreciate about him, he's just like, shit happens. It sucks. I got my ass kicked today. Fucking chalk it up and let's go do it again in 5 days. But now he's on the IR. But anyways, and then Sunday, the White Sox realized, like, oh shit, we're playing the Cubs, and they won 13-1. The big stories, two things I want to address. One, Yasmani Grandal's back, and he's good at baseball.
No, I was told he's bad.
8 RBIs on his first game back on Friday night. A great welcome home, welcome back night for him. They showed a stat in this Wednesday night Sox game. His OPS is like top 5 in the American League.
Yeah, but Zoe's only hitting like 200. He sucks.
but he gets on base
Sucks. He's hitting
Why do we
200.
like?
because he gets on base.
You don't know baseball, Zoe. You gotta hit the ball.
Yeah, and then tonight, Wednesday night, he actually hit a bloop single into right field, which you might as well go buy a lottery ticket because that shit don't happen.
I think Josh Nelson nailed it perfectly. Like, right after the sign, was like, Sox fans have they're not going to know how to cheer for Yasmani Grandal, even though he's going to be great, because the Sox have never had. Look at Abreu. Abreu's always been great. He's been a great hitter, but he's never been a high OBP guy.
Moncada.
Yeah, like it's like, guys, the lineup can become so dangerous when you just have a guy up there who at any time can just like walk twice a game.
Yep.
Or something, and even when he's not hitting, he'll still get on 35% of the time. That is so like important in terms of a long-term dissection of like what you look for in a lineup, and like when you go through ups and downs. It's like if you have that one guy is just always, even when he's hitting 200, but he's still getting on base 38% of the time. That is super valuable.
Run creators.
Yes.
It's, again, people neglect the run creators in lieu of the big fly guys. And a guy like Grandal, you like guys that hit the ball out of the ballpark, sure, but I mean those guys.
No, that's Grandal. Grandal is the perfect. He's the 3 outcome guy.
Yeah, well, and the thing is though,
it's amazing.
You have guys that sometimes they do that roller coaster, right, where they're there and they disappear for 2 weeks at a time. They don't help you in the big stretch. Even when you're bad, finding ways to have value makes you what we call a well-rounded baseball player. You're not going to be your best all the time. Just like a guy in the bump is a pitcher because he might not have it that day and he finds ways to get out. Guys like Grandal are going up there, and even when they're struggling, they're valuable because they create runs. And nobody seems to, at least in the hit ball very hard, throw ball very hard, throw that ball fast group, they don't understand that it isn't just about runners in scoring position and RBIs and home runs, and even OPS. It's about how many times can you get on base, move the line, and does your actions provide your entire collective roster an opportunity in the lineup to bring runs in and put runs across the plate. And he does that so well. And that's why a lot of people, the meatballs were the ones that were upset. I mean, that's how you can kind of tell the meatballs. If you didn't like Grandal and him taking walks and finding ways to get on, even when he was struggling, you're that meatball. No offense, guys. Yeah, I love you anyway, but that makes you a meatball.
He's sitting at an over 400 OBP. And if you want to talk about balance, he struck out 66 times. He's walked 63 times going into the game on Wednesday night.
Yeah, but he's hitting 210s, though. He stinks.
Right. But when he hits the ball, it goes over the fucking fence. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm doing that Cup Series.
And he from both sides of the plate.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, and he's a very, as I'm saying this right now, Rodon apparently just forgot how to pitch for a batter, and Grandal's blocked like 4 balls in a row. And he's a good defensive catcher. Like, he's not the best, but he's better than, Sebi or Zach. And it's a very good thing that he is back in this lineup.
Oh, speaking, I'm glad you actually brought up the catchers, because the roster's expanded September 1. They brought up what's the guy's name that looks like Beef Loaf, that you think looks like Beef Loaf?
No, he looks like Beef Loaf. What's shit? Fuck.
Him and Billy Hamilton.
Now, did you cancel
Kevin Sheets?
Did you cancel on the show last week and then he was cut while we were live? Did that happen?
No, it was a few days later.
It was like a day later. It was
you hashtag done them.
Romy Gonzalez.
Gonzalez, and then Billy Hamilton, then Sheets is up with Jake Lamb, DF or whatever.
Zach, man, I'm done with that.
Exactly. Who wasn't brought back up? Zach Collins. Kind of telling.
That's all I can say about that. Mm-hmm.
Did you have to wait 10 days to call somebody back up after they've been sent down? So that also. So there's another.
Damn it! All right. Well, never mind. We'll wait another 10 days. I still think he's. Yeah. I think he has like
another 10 days.
How long ago was he sent down though?
Yeah, it's been about 7, dude.
It's been like a week. Or it's been like 5 days. I think it was last Friday before the.
In 3 days when Roman gets sent back down to Michelle's high school reunion. Sorry, that was a reference.
So speaking of like the call-ups, are you worried about any of these injuries at all?
So
So Lance Lynn, I think, was
the
a
Lance
knee.
Lynn, no. Lance Lynn, no. Lance Lynn, it's inflammation. That's take 2
Yeah, that is-
ibuprofen, you fucking bastard. No, he's fine. That's a 10-day vacation for Lance Lynn. You've been great this fucking season. We need you at 100%. You got touched up by the Cubs.
Go crush some bush.
Go drink 30 racks of Bush with your boy Zoe. Relax, and you'll get back for the playoff, run. The Tim Anderson one is a little concerning.
It's been lingering, right? Because it's been a couple weeks.
And it's a hamstring.
Yeah, which is
hamstring is like the ultimate lingerer.
Yep.
Tim is no stranger to. He likes the spotlight. He likes the camera, and that's one of the reasons why we love Tim. I'm not saying like this is a bad thing, but for him to go on 2 separate stints while the White Sox are at like in arguably the peak of their popularity in the last 20 years is not something I see him doing lightly. Tim Anderson, 1,000%, barring a major injury, will be on this team come playoff time. Yeah. But I don't, like Kevin, like we were talking about earlier, I don't want it to get too long where all of a sudden now he's still trying to get his timing in the playoffs. Like I need him to have at least like 15 games before the playoffs, and so it is a little bit concerning. Some people are like, oh, they brought up Romy just to see like no, Romy's up 1 because he tear the cover off the ball in double and triple A this season. 2, the White Sox are going to have to make a decision after this year about Cesar Hernandez and Larry Garcia. And if Romy can do what they do, but for a shit ton cheaper, and now they can go and get a 5th starter because Keuchel blows, you know what I mean? Like this could be a trial for Romy for next year is what I think it is. But the TA thing, I wouldn't say I'm concerned. I just say it kind of sucks. Hamstrings suck.
Yeah.
TA's one of those guys that plays at 110% every game. And when something hinders that, it's painful to watch.
I guess the only good thing about that being a hamstring, I think early in the season, when he like stretched out at first base against the Angels, I think that was also a hamstring injury, but I think he also only missed the 10 days. So like that wasn't a thing that was long-term either. Right. So, hopefully this isn't anything past the 10 days. And then Lucas Giolito, I think his is a hamstring too, right?
That was scary. But
I think he's gonna get skipped at least one start. I think La Russa said,
which I'm good with. That's fine. They didn't go to put him on the 10-day, which is a good sign. And I mean, if you look at the White Sox upcoming schedule, they go 3 games in Kansas City, which rest whoever the fuck you want in those games. But then they got a pretty tough 6-game stretch where they got to go to Oakland for 3, and they got Boston at home for 3, or whoever's left playing on Boston because that whole team keeps getting COVID. But and then you get the Angels for 3. Angels suck. You go to Texas for 3. They suck. Detroit for 3. They're whatever. And then you finish the season with a 5-game fucking series in Cleveland, 2 versus Cincinnati and 3 versus Detroit. So the White Sox have a pretty good, starting with those games with the Angels at home. They got a pretty good stretch of games that they can afford to rest some guys before the playoffs. And they could also afford to get guys in there to ramp them up against not the greatest teams in the world to work on their timing and, things like that. But the series against Oakland and Boston, I mean, it sucks the timing wise, but I'm not mad about it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's fine. Kind of breaking news here.
Oh,
on the White Sox broadcast, they just showed Raylo warming up in the bullpen when is weird because he's scheduled to start on Saturday.
You throwing a side pen? Maybe just there was getting his pen in now. He was late. Something maybe kept him in the rehab room, or he was just.
They do that during the game. Like,
I mean, it's the Pirates.
Yes. It's true. Oh my goodness! Shortstop for Pittsburgh just almost put a ball in the 5th row on a throw to first. But anyway,
what inning is it? Is there anything wrong with Rodon?
No, it's the bottom of the 5th. I'm pretty sure they went into this game with Carlos on a pitch count anyways.
He's 77 pitches right now. I mean,
yeah.
So I mean, he's getting there.
He's pitching. He's pitching really well. This last inning, like I said, he had a little control issue, but whatever. I mean, he's touching high 90s. Like he looks fine. He's fine.
By the way, Yohan Moncada, 16-game hitting streak. They're still terrible.
Yeah, that's another. It's like The day fans realize that average home runs and RBIs are no longer the end all be all to baseball.
It's terrible, though.
Yep.
He doesn't care. He's lazy.
Rodon, see, thank you, Alex. Rodon did look like cheeks. Good word. Looked like cheeks last inning. So they might just be ready. He might just be like, yeah, I'm done for the night. Take me out. Whatever.
Was his first start back, or is this his third start back from the IL?
Dude, third start, and he went into Toronto against arguably one of the best lineups in baseball. And
he looked great.
Good. Yeah, so I'm not worried about Carlos. But I'm also health hasn't exactly been Carlos's top attribute.
I mean, speaking of that, I think we're getting to the point where we're getting to just teams are getting, or pitchers are getting kind of fatigued. We saw the Lynn thing is definitely that shuts you down for a couple weeks.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, with Rodon, with all these guys, Lucas Giolito probably could have been like, hey, perfect timing for you too. Let's get you like a week off.
Yep. And if you hear that noise in the background, all those actually hosting unlicensed dog mud wrestling tournaments at his house.
I was asking to blink twice if you're okay, Aldo.
Yeah.
Sound canceling head.
I think you muted yourself so the noise would go away. Yeah, he definitely muted himself. He's yelling at somebody right now.
Yelling at the dog right now.
Put the dog in town.
All right. So I have another thing though. I have a beef with you two.
Shit.
And I need to address this because it's been bothering me now for a week. Eating away at me. Now, before I start, I'd like to point out that I am rocking this nice new 108 shirt that my guy, My Sock Summer, who you should all go take selfies with, sent me. Now, you two.
They sent me a sticker once.
You two went on the 108 show, which is great. I'm very happy you guys went on the show to represent the Cubs delegation. I was happily to watch the show. Show started out, you came out of the gates hot. My Sock Summer and Beef Loaf, just one by one, just tearing into your boys, though. And you two just giggled along and went, nobody stood up for me.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin?
Wait. Did you want us to? I mean, I didn't disagree with anything they had to say.
So we have to cut you down to build you back up.
It's so fun. Right.
It's the carrot to dangle, really.
The fact that Beef Loaf used that to throw it in my face a couple days later, like, yeah, so your own boys don't even stand up for you. They're on our show and we're just ripping on you, and your own guys don't even stand up for you. I mean, motherfuckers.
They were really good. I mean, they had some good hits. They didn't miss. They were really.
This was a sabotage. We were vulnerable. Well, we had to talk about the Quintana trade. We had to talk about the Cubs rebuild.
I don't give a fuck if they came up with the fucking Eddie Murphy from Raw set worth of rips. You stand up for your boy, guy. What the fuck?
So they walked us downstairs to the basement like they did with Tommy and Goodfellas. We had to be on alert. We didn't know there was a tarp laid out. It was already, we were just minding our P's and Q's at that point. We were in a territory, and again, they really hit really well.
I was distracted by the Beanie Baby talk. I don't know what was going on.
That was weird.
Very sexual. My Sock Summer with his
So, I felt a little attacked, a little disappointed.
Well, I'll promise you this, Zoe. The next time, you know what? Because we've had Beef Loaf on twice. So we'll get Treasy on, and we'll get My Sock Summer on next. First we have to get My Sock Summer on. We'll get him in on our show. Just 4 against 1 or 3 against 1, and let's see what happens then.
I mean, unless the intern shows up, make it 4 against 4 against 1.
So I tried to even the score, and Beef Loaf tweeted out a picture of the section of 108. When everyone's going crazy. Those pictures are awesome, by the way. They're most Renaissance era chaos pictures.
It's like the back of a highlights magazine. It's like Circle when you see the people you recognize.
Right, but I'm like, oh, look at all those handsome people and My Sock Summer. And I was like, I got him. And then I was like, that's not me. I don't want to do that. I like those guys. But
which of their insults hurt the worst?
I don't even remember. I blacked out. I got so angry I blacked out. I'm just kidding. It's fine.
I mean, if anything, it was My Sock Summer making fun of himself.
Really?
Easy. No, I'm just very fucking around. For the record, I am completely fucking around. But
no, we had a good time. I mean,
you guys did a fantastic job on the show. I was laughing my ass off that whole time. It was great.
the shtick kept going. I did pull what we normally pull on this podcast. So I did basically drink a half a bottle of High West Double Rye during that time. But my girlfriend got me a smoker for our anniversary, one of those drink smokers.
Those things are
and
dope.
I just kept trying to like test it out. Like, so this one, let's try another one. But you don't want to waste it. So drink it. Do it again.
If you're a whiskey guy, go get one of those smoking kits because they are fucking awesome. It's cool to look at too. Like it's just cool.
I did figure out that
you can probably smoke weed out of it too. If you put the weed in the bowl, it'll probably, I don't know.
I did figure out beef loaf is like one of the biggest jinx going on in White Sox Twitter right now.
Oh, he talks about Patrick Wisdom.
Patrick Wisdom goes off. There was the whole Andrew Vaughn talk early in the year, and then Andrew Vaughn got hot, and then and then Beef Loaf bet on Andrew Vaughn to win Rookie of the Year, and Andrew Vaughn sucked for the past 2 weeks.
But hold on.
Is it wait? Is his name Beef Nightingale?
You guys remember the first time Beef was on the show, right?
Yeah, I didn't want to bring it up when we were on the one way. I was like, Beef, remember the first time why we had you on?
Because Beef put out an article saying how he wants to trade Luis Robert, and I was like, that's the most asinine thing I ever saw. I was
do you remember the player you wanted to get?
No.
Look up the stats for Eugenio Suarez. Look up the stats for Eugenio Suarez.
No, I don't even look it up because I know it's terrible. I know he had a terrible year this year. But yeah, no, I love those guys. Obviously, I think you guys were fucking fantastic on the show. I was cracking up the whole time. The Beanie Baby running gag was fucking hilarious. You guys played that really, really well. What was I gonna say though? Fuck.
Your feelings were hurt.
No, I'm good.
Away.
I completely forgot.
Patrick Wisdom, Beef Loaf being jinx. Luis Robert, Beef Loaf wanted to trade him. Cub Sox. Frank Schmidl's your best friend.
I completely forgot. I had something to say too, and I completely fucking just forgot.
What else, Kevin? What were we just talking? Beanie Babies.
Beanie Babies. I know what it was. So I put out a tweet saying like, my whole goal in doing this show, doing everything is just to spread positivity without being corny. And I feel like I've ventured away from that. And some people actually DM me, is this because they made fun of you on the 108? No, it's not because of that. The reason why I did it though is because Michael Kopech threw like a shitty inning. He had a bad, I think it was against Toronto. He had a really bad inning, got shelled, whatever. And just completely, you guys know me, for shits and giggles, just trying to get a quick laugh. I tweeted out, who broke Michael Kopech? Just completely joking around, whatever. The amount of responses I got talking very like over the line mean shit about his baby mama and his son being in attendance at that game, like it made me want to fucking puke. Like it was, I don't know why, but it made me like legit like upset. Like I was just like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? They don't know these people, and like some of the things people were saying were just fucking awful. And no, this isn't my first day on Twitter. I'm not new to the internet.
You must be new here.
I know how it goes, but I don't know why. This one just kind of hit, and I was just like, and I started like going back and forth with some of these people, and then like it hit me, and I clicked on one of their profiles, and I saw like again another one that's never had an original tweet of their own, has like 6 followers, and I'm like, this dude just baited me into like a 20 tweet back and forth like stupid. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here? Like this ain't who I want to be. Like this is fucking stupid. So that's where that tweet came from, for those of you wondering. And I appreciate the DMs from people that were concerned, but yeah, that's where that shit came from. But fuck, man, people just ruthless, dude. Like,
that's with Kopech.
It wasn't even funny. It was just like me.
Like that's the thing is like with Kopech, like he's like always gonna have that. Like no matter what, because of like the 2020 sitting out, because of like the things in his personal life, the things even before, like when he was still with Boston, I think when he was dating that whoever the reality TV star was or whoever, just because all that was like out in public open, and then he's no matter what he does, even the White Sox fan, and he gets the final fucking out with the World Series or whatever, they'll be like, oh yeah, but he's like fucking soft.
Oh yeah, but Vanessa, whatever her name is,
yeah, it's like left arm.
He's got weak in the knees because of that, and it's like, Dude, like people,
Sucks.
holy fuck, man. But hold on, I'm pulling up his game log because we do got to talk about Michael Kopech because
He's had like a couple where like, whoa, where did this come from?
yeah. Here we go. So it was the Toronto game. 4 hits, 5 runs, 5 earned, a homer, and 1 strikeout on Thursday, August 26th. The White Sox ended up winning the game 10-7, but I mean, he ran into a little bit of a freight train. Marcus Semien has been fucking having one hell of a fucking second half of the season for the Blue Jays.
Sox legend.
Oh, I keep forgetting he was on the White Sox.
Do you remember who he was traded for?
Peavy, right?
Nope. Jeff Samardzija.
Oh, that makes it so much better.
You got 1 season of the Shark.
And I mean but since then he came back against the Cubs. He threw 1 inning, gave up 1 hit, 2 strikeouts. He pitched Tuesday night against Pittsburgh, 1 inning, 2 strikeouts, clean inning. He's gonna be fine. Go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt. Yasmani Grandal again finding ways to be productive in failure.
Yep.
Grounds out to score Jose Abreu from third base.
And then there was an E6, and he is on first now.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So that was with 2 outs. Oh, scratch that. Okay. So.
Yep. But
double play ball. Was it a double play ball?
Yeah.
How close was it at first?
It's
He
0. It's literally 2 speed and MLB The Show Grandal.
He had a hit, right? So.
It was the throw.
All right. Different credit then. My bad. I thought maybe he was. I just was reading.
Right, but we should make this an internal drinking game for the show. We love running jokes on the show. Anytime I say these guys aren't robots, you got to drink because I feel like I say it every fucking week. Because he's not a robot.
Think about it, Zoe. Imagine the day that we get to where like these guys are robots. It's gonna be pretty fucking cool.
Oh, be good.
And someday the metal ones will come for you.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm on their side. I'm just saying these current players right now are not fucking robots. I mean, everybody seems to like to shit rather quickly on the White Sox bullpen. I think that's mainly due to the amount of preseason hype that this bullpen had. You know, they were supposed to be the super pen and all this shit. Like,
well, I mean, the good thing for Sox fan is that at no point for the rest of the season, and especially when it matters in the postseason, Craig Kimbrell doesn't have to face the Cubs again. So that's good.
That is good. He's looking.
Did you see the numbers?
Right.
Like versus Cubs giving up 4 home runs versus everyone else like 1.
He looks like a completely different person. It's weird. And I was laughing, people like to keep bringing up the point that, they're fucking up Kimbrell by making him pitch the 8th. He doesn't know how to pitch the 8th. Yes, I understand there's a mental aspect to being a closer, but it shouldn't fuck him up that bad. So when he came out against the Pirates on Tuesday night and threw a clean 8th, I think with 3 strikeouts, P. Knowles from Twitter tweeted out like, how could have that been? It was the 8th inning. And I said, someone right before he went out, someone told him it was the 9th. It's the only explanation.
Scoreboard operator flipped up the 9.
Right. Real quick.
Right? Quick. Yeah.
No, I do think there, like you said, like there's like the mental part of like, there's the 9th and the 8th is just like maybe the adrenaline just is there. However, last year when he was struggling and he was demoted from the closer spot, he was pitching as the setup guy when he got right. Like in September when he was like amazing again, he was basically the setup guy. So yeah.
And here's the thing, honestly, let's be honest. A lot of those guys really don't know what inning it is.
Right.
Just go get loose. Okay. Some of them are, I mean, I could, not to bust Chase it out much, but I can tell you right now, some of those guys are in the clubhouse for 4 or 5 innings and they know like there's like a time, hey man, I need you to get out there roughly at around like the hour and a half spot to start getting yourselves mentally prepared. Over the course of the years, I've gotten texts like, I know that he's in the 4th inning. I'm like, what are you doing on your phone? But that's what they do. They're like, oh no, I'm good. I'm on the bike right now. I'm getting warm as I get ready to go out there. Obviously you do your pregame stuff, but some of those guys get out there and they might not know the inning.
Right.
The idea that Kimbrell struggles because, high leverage situation is a high leverage situation. He knows he's got to get 3 outs. Nobody's on, go. And so I think that's maybe like a more of a simplification of an actual problem. And it's just a mental focus thing in general. He just had a bad night. He had a few bad nights. Like he's not a robot.
I also feel like the mental part for that. I think it's more switched. I always think it's like you bring up the setup guy to, okay, you bumped up to you're the closer now. I feel like those guys struggle a lot more than the inverse of like, okay, we traded you to a team that already has an established guy. You're going to be the setup guy. Like I always think back to
Right.
LaTroy Hawkins, like
That's a pull.
amazing setup man with the Twins for years. Like that wasn't like he was good for 1 year. Like it was years he was great with the Twins. Then he came to the Cubs, became the closer in 04, and could not handle it.
Right. And I mean, it stuck with me for some weird reason when they were doing one of a billion interviews they did during the Field of Dreams game. They had Liam Hendricks on. I mean, why wouldn't you? He's a fucking phenomenal soundbite. And they asked him, like, you're one of the most intense pitchers in baseball. Like, is it around the 4th or 5th or 6th inning when you like turn it on to start getting ramped up? And Liam's like, bro, I'm just chilling out here until they call and go, Liam, start getting ready. And then I flip it on. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and he said that without hesitation. Like, it's just, yeah. Like, it's not like he's sitting there pacing back and forth, like putting headbutt through walls and shit. Like he's at a party in Elsip. Like he's just fucking, he's ready to go. You know what I mean? And like, he knows how to turn. These guys are fucking professionals, man. And yeah,
and he's done this for again. It's an oversimplification for the general people that are just don't. There's no explanation for them on the tip of their tongue. So that's an easy go-to. That's like saying that KB couldn't hit because he got hit in the head a couple years ago, and that's why he's struggling. Like
I'm
that's
so
not
impressed with you right now.
That's not the That's an oversimplification of it all. It's not really the case. But with what Kimbrel. He's a professional. He's a closer, man. He knows how to get outs. Just some days it doesn't work.
There is a new drinking game where anytime you bring up KB, we drink.
That's fine because it won't be very often unless it's a home run while we're live.
I bet you still work him into every episode.
Look,
from the 108, there was
I haven't brought up the other guy either about thumbs down, so I've been doing pretty well.
No,
from the
we're not
108,
talking about him.
the last
we're not
week,
wasting time on
there
that
was a
shit.
good barrage of KB, and like I think everyone got drunk after like a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I did. I was not the first one to mention on the 108. In fact,
No,
I did.
They baited you on that one.
We were 35 minutes into the 108 before my sock summer actually said the word Chris Bryant. I actually did not. In fact, if you go back and listen, I actually said that guy. I called him other names other than himself for almost the whole. And then obviously getting in the conversation, then the name came out. But oh no, I did. I thought I was actually cognizant of it because I know that there was like a how long will it take, and it was my sock summer that brought it up. Not me, so I don't know if that even counts. I didn't bring it up.
I know you got baited. Lurie Legend is just fucking bringing in RBIs. Like,
Well, I mean,
their record when he
Sox win. Yeah, as I was going to say, Sox
Gavin
win.
Sheets, get down. Fuck.
Sox win when Lurie Legend's in. So Lurie Garcia starting right fielder, game 1.
No.
Come on, he's a winner.
I mean,
maybe actually. Well, one thing you don't know, like Be Good's been good. Engel maybe might come back sometime.
Yeah.
I mean, that's Adam Engel is the reason why I do have some concern about Tim Anderson because they're both hamstrings on aggressive players. But
just go 2-man outfield. Luis Robert playing right and
he can
center.
cover it.
Yeah.
After his game on Tuesday night, he could absolutely cover it. And if you're a White Sox fan and you don't stop breathing every time he hits the grass, dude, I'm so glad. I think he knows because after he makes catches now, he just smiles real big and it's like, whoo, 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 whoo.
Wait, what are we thinking about? Andrew Vaughn's gonna be starting in right field.
Yeah.
It's gonna be Eloy, Robert, and Vaughn. Yeah.
shoving around out there.
So I'm actually cool if it goes Eloy, Robert, Vaughn, and then you have Sheets as your playoff DH. Sheets just hits the shit out of the ball.
Say that fast 3 times.
Sheets hits the shit out of the ball. Sheets hits the shit out of the ball. Sheets hits the shit out of the ball.
Hits.
Yes.
Out of the balls? Wait. That didn't come out right.
No, he hits the shit out of the ball. And he's a big lefty bat in that lineup that they desperately need.
But speaking of Engel, has there been any word on his return?
They said he possibly could start his rehab start like next week. Maybe.
Are they even having games anymore?
That's really late to in the season to kind of be ramping up at that point.
Right.
Okay.
It's just,
that's going to be up against the clock.
I don't know. Remember, his injury wasn't like a straight hamstring injury. Remember, it was like something weird, like blood got somewhere where it wasn't supposed to be, or something.
Oh yeah, Wasn't it blood in the bicep or something like
No,
that?
that was Carlos Rodon
That was
a
Rodon.
couple years ago. But no, Ingles got like something in his groin. Like, I don't know. It was fucking weird, dude. I just hope he gets, yeah, he heads to Charlotte this weekend. Thank you, Alex.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay, all right.
But Brian Goodwin's been, Raylo's in pitching now. But Brian Goodwin's he's been good, dude. Like, he had a good hit tonight. Like, he's been timely hitting. He hasn't fucked up in the field. He's fast, It's a weird problem to have that the White Sox all of a sudden have like 5 like average right fielders that they need to figure out which one they want to use. I was doing the Twitter Space show with Josh from Sox Machine earlier on Wednesday, and I was talking about how the Pirates got Reynolds, and I was like, yeah, Reynolds was one of those guys that I would have loved to see the White Sox trade for. He could play right field. And Josh, who's very plugged in around the MLB community, said that someone told him they wouldn't be surprised if Reynolds got moved in this offseason. Now, that's a guy I would love in right field for the White Sox. But then that causes all kinds of weirdness in this lineup. Like, does Vaughn play first full time and Abreu go to DH? Because you got to have Veloyan left. It's weird problems, man.
It's a nice problem to have.
I'm not.
Great problem to have.
I'm not upset about it.
The great thing is, it's better than Adam Eaton. So there you go.
Yep. Yeah. Well,
Remember when that was a thing?
Remember when they tried to sell us that was like a big off-season signing? Miami really wants Reynolds. Well, fuck you and your gift basket.
You know why it would make sense for Miami? Because it's very low cost. I don't think he's even.
He's literally batting right now as we're talking about him against Raylo.
No, Brian Reynolds has been fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Alex, you can't sell me on a dude and then just shit on my dreams in the comment section. You are the reason why I'm pumped on fucking Reynolds, dude.
That's what Alex likes to build you up, and then bam, he detonates that charge at the base of your foundation of your argument, and then he's the one that actually led you there. It's entrapment. I say it's entrapment. He's the reason why I went on the radio too.
And he lined out to Eloy. I thought that was getting down. And
look
at Raylo hitting high 90s. Anyways, go ahead.
So Zoe, 1 month to go. Big lead. The home field. I think you guys are game back right now. What are you worried about? Anything?
Just
we talked about TA. We talked about TA the hamstring. Like, you want him back to get at least half a month.
Just staying healthy, man. That's what it's all about right now. Would like to see a little bit more consistency out of the bullpen, but Raylo has really been providing that. The White Sox
worried about any
postseason
matchups, teams?
3. You can't. Everybody that's gonna. I feel like MLB right now is so fucking top heavy that the teams that are gonna make the playoffs are all legit have a shot.
Who's getting hot right now?
Tampa Bay.
Well, like a wild card team, the Mariners.
So the Mariners are getting hot. The Reds are getting hot. The Padres fucking suck.
Oh, the Padres!
The Brewers are right now taking it to the Giants in this series, proving that they are also terrifyingly.
The Brewers are a very
pitching
good team. They have the horses and the starting rotation, like you just mentioned, and they have just good. Christian Yelich just had a shit year, and they're still doing what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. That's gonna. This year, the Cubs. This is the first. I could say probably the first year. It's been a while since the Cubs have been in the postseason, but I can tell you this is the first time in a long time that I can remember where I was like, the Cubs are out of it. I don't care. I'm actually pumped for this postseason. Like, I am watching everything that's unfolding with each of these contenders, and it sounds like and it feels like a lot of these teams are starting to hit that. They're starting to hit that stride, and you're starting to see the pretenders fade away, like the Mets, the Braves are kind of hanging around there too. They're not awful either, but you're really seeing teams like the Brewers, the Reds. We've talked about it on the show a million times. Every year I feel like the Reds are a powder keg waiting to explode. I always feel like they're the most dangerous team in the NL Central just because they might figure it out. The problem for them is they've never really figured it out. And all of a sudden they're figuring it out and they have a really easy schedule down the stretch, which might make them pretenders in the postseason when they face like a more of a Dodgers or a Giants or Braves or even Brewers, but they actually are pretty good against the Brewers too. So it's great to see baseball the top heavy is a negative watching regular season games because games like tonight, the Pirates, this should be a blowout. Fans aren't really going to show up tonight to that game. It's kind of like, do you really want to go? No. Can I give you my tickets?
Yes.
I'm busy, kind of blah. It's not a reflection of like laziness or anything. It's just like it's so tough.
That's Dallas Keuchel mentality. I don't like that.
Beating up on a Triple A team, basically.
I can tell you though, Sox fans are excited because we haven't had a team like this in years. So even on a Wednesday night game against Pittsburgh, they're showing up. And just to tell you guys, this is the first time I've opened windows in this house in like a month and a half. It is a pristine Chicago summer night.
Somebody open up the dictionary after the 108.
This isn't an attendance joke either, but like because that's a low hanging fruit. But the attendance, what do you think the attendance is tonight?
It's not a sellout, but
19,000. That's not actually too bad for a Wednesday night. Actually,
right.
That's not bad at all
against a team that's terrible.
A dead in the water team. So
I
that's
should
not
say
bad at all. Actually,
against a team that has no, like the Angels are terrible, but you'd still go watch Ohtani. You know what I mean? The
I respect Brian Reynolds, though.
Yeah, I'll respect him when he's on our team.
You go watch Jason walk in inherited runs and then give up a sac fly for the other inherited runs, then get the out, so he has a 0 ERA. Whoops.
Talking more about the playoff, dude. Like the Reds split a doubleheader today, but the Padres lost. So now, if the season ended right now, the Reds get the wild card spot. Padres don't even make the playoffs.
Wait, what is that? I thought they were up. They were up like a game or like 2 or 3 games. I thought at one point.
No, they're up a half a game on the Padres in the wild card right now. But
they were a couple days ago. They were like actually they had a 2 or 2.5 game lead a couple days ago.
Another sneaky ass team that's only 2.5 games out of the wild card are the fucking Cardinals, man.
Team that was at the same record as the Cubs when the Cubs blew everything up and then they didn't.
Yeah, the Cardinals have the same record as the Phillies. The NL wild card is going to be fun. The NL wild card is going to be real fun because you have the Reds, the Padres, the Phillies, and the Cardinals all within 2.5 games and all going for it. The Mets are at 5.5 out, but that's a fucking train wreck.
I'm pulling for the Mariners.
And then in the AL, you have the Red Sox. You have the Oakland is 1 game behind the Red Sox. Well, the Yankees have a 2.5 game lead as the top wild card spot. Then you have the Red Sox. The A's are 1 back. The Mariners are 3 back. The Blue Jays are 4.5 back. And then it drops down to Cleveland at 7.5. But personally, I don't think they'll do it, but I'm rooting for the Blue Jays. It's been no secret on the show. I like that team.
Cubs are 13 back. I mean, they're not out of this thing yet.
They can go on a run, though.
It can happen.
Beating the Twins tonight.
Okay.
Yes, Justin Steele, by the way, if we do talk Cubs for a second. The man that we talked about as the porn star name on the 108 the other night threw really well. In fact, he went.
Steele's going to be good, though. You remember his name. Write his name down.
5 innings pitched, 1 hit, no runs, 3 Ks, 3 walks. Boom.
Justin Steele, write it down. Write it down, Zoe. Write it down. Justin Steele with an E.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Steele's going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
Keegan Thompson, not so much, but Justin Steele, yes.
Mariners are, like you said, Mariners are creeping in. They're only 3 games out of the wild card. Would love to see the Mariners make the playoffs.
They haven't made it since what, 01, right?
Right. I'd love to see the Mariners. Mariners right now are sitting at a minus 56 run differential
Holy shit.
for the season.
They're in it. They're in it.
They're in it, baby.
But they're in it. They're fucking in it. They got a lot of good kids on that team. Should be interesting.
I was going to say, well, what's their fun metrics, though? That must be high, through the roof.
They're pretty fun. They're a pretty fun team. They're pretty fun. Another crazy stat, though. Wander Franco has a 32-game on-base streak.
Dude, the fucking Rays, man.
Rays,
just every year.
He took Chris Sale, Oppo Taco today for a home run. For a kid, dude, he's impressive as shit. He's very impressive. And the Rays, on the other hand, are sitting at a plus 171 run differential. Astros are plus 172. The White Sox are plus 141.
Most because of Dallas Keuchel.
Pretty much. The Dodgers, who are your NL wild card 1 right now, have a plus 212 run differential.
What are the Giants?
Plus 141. Same, literally identical to the White Sox.
Fucking Giants.
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta's plus 89.
And I mean, the NL West race is basically the Dodgers and the Giants. I mean,
yeah.
the
Padres are just, oh my, it's unbelievable how much they've just fallen off a cliff for the past 2 months.
How? This is
all their pitchers got hurt, hurt or bad, except for Blake Snell's been good for the past 2 months. But Darvish has been horrible since June and injured.
I just don't get how they do this every year. They put together these monsters on paper, and then they just suck.
I mean, I'm telling you, the Dodgers just killed them the moment that the Max Scherzer trade. Remember, Max Scherzer was going to the Padres.
Going to the Padres, yeah.
No, you need to say Max Scherzer, Trey Turner, because Trey Turner should not be just a right end.
But I don't think Trey Turner was involved in the deal for the Padres. I'm just saying from like the start. Once that happened and they got nightingaled, and it was like, whoops, nope. He's going to the Dodgers along with Trey Turner, one of the top shortstops in baseball. The Padres just died that day.
Yeah, that could be. I mean, imagine that. I mean, it shouldn't be that way, but yeah, I mean, and Salty Dan, I know he's probably listening to this, and I'm glad that he got to hang out with Willie P. By the way, from White Sox Twitter. They met up at the Padres game the other night, but we haven't seen Willie since. So I'm pretty sure he lost both kidneys and he's in some sort of dolphin bag out in the Pacific. But it's cool to see that kind of stuff happens. But the Padres are they have a tough schedule. I mean, again, they have to run a little bit of a gauntlet down the stretch too, and they're using Jake Arrieta as an actual option in their starting rotation, and he got hurt, and then they're putting him back into the actual. They're going with a guy that has not actually seen the fifth inning since I feel like since the 2016 election. I mean, not really, because he was in 2016, but it's been forever. He hasn't seen it since May.
What Alex says in the comments, they weren't that close. The Nats GM linked it to the media to get the Dodgers up their offer. Hence why Aldo said they got nightingaled.
Right. I know. Well, that's the thing. Obviously, the Padres were in on him at whatever, if it was a good offer or not. They wanted Max Scherzer, and the Dodgers are like, "All right, fine, we'll pay up." And then they got him, and it is. I'm just thinking about it. Would be like if Lance Lynn and Tim Anderson were like, if the Sox for whatever reason were out of it, and like, all right, A's, he's going to the A's, and then all of a sudden, nope, going to the Mariners or something like that.
Think about this for the second too. Think of the butterfly effect in this too, because again, you got Max Scherzer going to the Padres. Say that actually goes through, so that means the Scherzer, Trey Turner deal obviously won't happen, because here's what if, right? The Marvel show on Wednesday nights. Here's the what if. What if
it's a great show?
Scherzer doesn't go, he goes to the Padres. So now the Dodgers finish what they were close to doing at the time, which is Chris Bryant, Craig Kimbrell. That was the trade that was also very, very close. That happened when the Scherzer trade with Turner, that ended everything. So if Scherzer goes to San Diego, the Cubs could have very well have made the move there, and that would have been a double move. And imagine some of the prospects you're going to get from the Dodgers in that kind of a move. I mean, look at what obviously Scherzer and Turner brought. So that was
one better than Nick Madrigal.
That's true. But the Kimbrell, what they got out of that, I mean, what the Cubs got out of the Canario, is it Canario?
Alexander Canario.
The Cubs got for maybe fantastic right now. He's killing it. So, I mean, that works. But I mean, the what if is just, it's so interesting to think that what is the butterfly effect of that? Like, it wasn't just one thing. It affected so much in the league, and really the dynamic of the league, by that actually being the Dodgers that made that move happen, because they were balls deep in the Kimbrell trade. I can tell you that 100% for a fact. So that's a whole other like thing that was just, it's like, what if now, Dave Roberts becomes Captain America now because he got this serum.
But this is also a good point by Alex. The Padres just can't beat bad teams. They're 8-11 versus the Rockies. And the reason why I want to bring this up is because the White Sox only beat the Twins and the Tigers and the Royals. No, that's what you have to do to have a good record in Major League Baseball, is you have to beat the shit teams.
The Tampa Bay Rays finished the year 18-1 against the Baltimore Orioles. Why do they have such a big lead in the AL East?
Because they beat the
That's why.
Get on base. Oh, wait, no, never mind. Shit, wrong one.
Wrong
18-1.
Sorry, I just heard the cadence.
Yep. But
and how about the Devil Rays? Alex is the one that brought this up. I had no idea the Devil Rays are the king of like trading away dudes just before they hit that I suck mode. Although Snell did throw good the other night.
Blake Snell's been a lot better the past.
He's been like their best pitcher in the second half of the season.
Yeah, but I mean, it feels like they'll trade someone away, and it's like.
Well, the one guy I was completely wrong about, and that was the trade that happened before 2020, was Tommy Pham. I thought Tommy Pham was going to be a great pickup for the Padres. He's been like, he's been average at best.
Another Vegas boy.
Mm-hmm. Jesus Christ.
At the same time, I think Cronenworth, that he was in the trade. He's been pretty good for the Padres, and he was with the Rays.
So I get the scouting report on Jose Abreu is bust him inside. He just got hit again. Dude gets. I want to know who leads the league in hit by pitch. Can I look that up?
I think it's Ty France.
Is that a stat you can look up?
I was watching the Mariners game. I was watching the Mariners game Tuesday night, and he got hit by pitch. I think they said he was leading the league. Maybe, I think.
Jonathan India from Cincinnati and Mark Canha.
Was it Canha? Mark Canha, yeah.
He has 22.
Where's Jose Abreu in that equation?
I don't know, but I know that last year's league leader in the American League was only 12, which makes sense. But 19 was 2019. He's at 22 already. Rizzo got hit 27 times in 2019, so Rizzo got hit 30 times in 2015.
Like I said, I get busting these guys in, like whatever, but
and Rizzo 3 times since 2015. Wow. And Geyer, Gomez, Gordon, and Laureano.
Here you go. Abreu's tied for 5th, or now he's in 4th because he's at 17. Rizzo's at 18 this year. Ty France is at 20.
Oh, there we go. It was 20. Then he got to 20.
Yeah, Abreu's at 17 right now, 5th most in the league.
It's so interesting scrolling down the yearly league leaders in hit by pitch for both leagues. As you continue to scroll down and you get roughly around like 1991, Joe Carter got hit 10 times, led the American League. Bagwell got hit 13 times. In the year before that, Glenn Davis got hit 8 times and led the league in hit by pitch. Right now, currently, the leader is at 22, and they're still.
Do you know what other stat Jose Abreu leads the league in?
Ribbies.
Grounded into double plays.
Oh.
So you guys went positive, and I flipped it on you. Yeah, he's in the lead by 1 over Juan Soto. But if you look at this list,
not Jason Hayward.
No. So if you look at here's the list of the top 10 players ground in double plays: Abreu, Soto, Arenado, Donaldson, Stanton, Mancini, Vlad Guerrero, Bell, Olsen, Martinez, Farmer, Grichuk, Segura, and Alonso. All good players. It just means that they fucking make contact. You know what I mean? And they bat 3rd or 4th in the lineup.
You know, I was thinking, like, for those teams, I was thinking about playing MLB The Show, like doing a season mode. I look at the stats. I'm like number 1 in double plays. Why? Because I obviously have the highest on base percentage in the league. So you're going to get a lot of that when you're Jose Abreu. You're number 3 and you have a whole bunch of guys on base all the time. Like the more opportunities you get, it's a higher chance that you're going to hit into double plays.
Yep. Exactly. So
the ball hard happens.
Oh, Ryan with the sick. You got a burn in on Jason Hayward. Hayward can't ground into double plays when there's no one on base in front of him.
No. Smart. But he still gets paid.
Smart.
Still gets $25
million. Yeah, that's
grumpy.
That's a bit of an anomaly. Do you guys got anything else you want to touch on?
We're looking at that, the stretch run for the Cubs too. I mean, this is they're getting some guys that are going to get some looks. They're going to be, if you're a Cub fan, you're watching. Obviously, we're at this place where we never thought we'd be, which is having to, actually truly keeping both eyes on our minor league system, which I thought was always going to be just keep one eye on that and just one eye on the regular major league team that's, worth $3.6 billion. So you would think that there would be a better product, but you're going to see some guys coming up getting a little bit of looks here and there, and especially pay attention to the arms. You might not get some of the big names called up to swing it, but Schwindel hit another jack today, a guy that got for free. Patrick Wisdom was for a shopping cart full of baseballs, and then they got Schwindel for basically nothing. He was DFA'd by the A's. He was playing here with the Aviators, went up, got 1 home run, hit 1 homer, and then was sent down when what's his name came back. So I can't remember his name. Who came back? Not Listello. Was it Listello? No. Anyway, he got sent down. Moreland. I think it was maybe Moreland. And Cubs got him for free. Nothing. Hey, what's up? And he is killing it. He actually does a really good job of shortening up, hitting the ball the other way. I've seen him multiple times sit back and just punch a baseball through the right side on a shift too, which is great. So if you make a mistake and you don't hit your spot, he's making them hurt, and then he's leaving the yard pretty frequently. Patrick Wisdom's hitting a home run every 10 at bats, I think, right now. And then you've got Schwindel, who's starting to become one of those dudes, and it's kind of cool to watch because he could have been one of those dudes. mean, he was a high draft pick, and he had all the potential in the world too. And just maybe their trash will turn into some sort of Patrick Wisdom-esque magic. And I love watching guys like that do well. How can you not? How can you hate that? Guys that have been underrated their entire career going out there and wait, who's this guy? And he just keeps doing it. And Wisdom, keeps doing it. I know Aloha Mr. Hand, by the way, thinks that Patrick Wisdom is a flash in the pan. That he is Gordon Beckham? Is that what he called him? No, who did he call him? No, what's his name? Who he called? Not Gordon Beckham.
Gordon Beckham.
Palka. Dan Palka. Called him Palka.
I would respectfully disagree there because Wisdom has shown he's very good in the field.
True. Very good defender. Yeah,
the only thing that worries me about damn it, you guys got me thinking about Polka now. Patrick Wisdom is he's striking out 40% of the time. Like there is a reason that he's 30 and this is the first time he's had a full season. It's because of that. He's always had the power. If he could, like that's the thing. It's so like because you can deal with it. If this guy's slugging 500 an entire season, if he gives you 500 at bats, he's slugging 500. You'll take it.
Absolutely.
Just like get that strikeout rate just a little, like 36% maybe, not 40%.
Alex, I'm going to throw some shade at it. Just nothing like Yerman. He's way beyond the Yerman Dixon line right now. He passed the Yerman.
Yerman was good for 1 month.
Months ago. Yeah, that's 1 month.
Like I said, Wisdom can play the field.
Get bats in now at this point.
Wisdom can play the field.
Yep. Kevin, I don't know if you see him because he really got brought up. I think he started a few times. The first baseman, though, I've been excited for him because I first heard about him a couple years ago. I think the Cubs got him from the A's. Alfonso Rivas. He's not the prototypical like slugging first baseman. He is a contact first, athletic, like first baseman. I'm like excited to see. He almost had a grand slam yesterday against the Twins. That would have been awesome for him. I'm kind of excited to see him. I don't know if he's gonna be like the future first baseman or whatever, but there's some guys to like, hey, there's something here. Obviously, it's not what we want to be seeing right now, but at least we're starting to see a trickle in of a few guys who's like, all right, Manuel Rodriguez, what can he do? Even Cody Hoyer, like, hey, Cody Hoyer is like getting the job done. Does it mean anything? He's still young enough where they could build on this, keep him on track to back to his rookie year in 2020 when he was great for the Sox. Rowan Wick, he's getting back from his injury. He had his best outing against the Twins on Tuesday. So hey, there's at least something now.
There's a lot of we're back to the endorphins kicking in when we want to inject minor league home runs into our veins. Like we're Christian Hernandez right now. He's starting to light it up.
Yes.
Ed Howard
has been hot.
Howard has been a fantastic couple weeks. Christian Hernandez's OPS is off the charts. He hit 2 jacks again yesterday. These guys are in that Arizona league, and I know Tanner's down there throwing McDougal, and there's a lot of good baseball going on down there. A lot of really good ball play. I mean, honestly, that. If there's a place to go that's not a major league place, I would probably, if I could go watch those games, I think those are the games I'd actually enjoy as much as seeing any other level of baseball. Because right now, this draft and then next year again, it'll be the same thing. So many studs playing in the same place right now in a collection of dudes that are going out there. And so it's really fun to see those guys figure it out and start kind of trickling up and see, guys over in, what's the single A team. God dang, we're at
Myrtle Beach, South
Myrtle
Bend.
Beach. Yeah,
Myrtle Beach.
They're Myrtle Beach and the Pelicans, right? And so he's
Pelicans.
That he's moving over. He's taking reps at second base now too, and which tells me the Cubs are looking at Christian Hernandez and possibly thinking Hernandez might be the better option. But I still see Howard at short. I still see Hernandez moving to third over the course of time. But who knows? They're seeing something.
And then guess what? They have another like 19-year-old Kevin Made. It's spelled Made, but I don't know how to pronounce it.
So
dude looks so slick at shortstop.
A whole reason to not sign Javi Baez in the offseason for an excessive amount of money, period.
I don't want to break this up, but I do want to, because this references what you were talking about earlier. Beef Love tweeted out, I need good Aaron Bummer, like I need air to breathe. Aaron Bummer just gave up a fucking piss missile.
Well, that's not good.
I'm just saying.
Do you guys want Cody Hoyer back?
No, that's a beef jinx, though.
I gotta find it now because I'm gonna go ahead.
Nightingale, I added it again.
Yep.
I want to leave this off on a cliffhanger if we're about to like wrap things up. Speaking of Javier Baez, I honestly don't like at this point any long-term deal. I don't want the Cubs doing that either. In terms of the qualifying offer, Kevin, if you're the Cubs, if you're the head of the Cubs and you're looking at guys in the offseason, obviously you want the team to target some of the top free agents. Would you give up that comp pick for one of these free agents?
I wouldn't give it up for Javi. But
Well, no, he got traded. That doesn't matter. He's not. You're not giving up anything for Javi.
You got what you deal with.
So it would be like,
Seager.
like Trevor Story. They have the
Correa.
Seager, Correa, or do you go for like in terms of pitching? Because there's one name out there, Marcus Stroman, who he already got the qualifying offer last year. So I don't think you can get it 2 years in a row. Would you just target him as your big splash?
I think. Well, after we heard what we sounds like the Cubs are going to do, where they're going to do this whole Pittsburgh Pirates thing again next year, where they go out and sign a bunch of crap.
It looks like they're going to do the Cubs thing again, with the jock.
Yeah, right. That's the Pirates have already been doing that. They sign these guys to minor league deals and they pan out. They trade them. They flip them. They get picks. Blah blah blah. But I think that one thing that you don't have to worry about that with are our pitchers, free agent pitchers. When they hit that market, John Lester will attest to it too. Those guys, you can hit a team that's not already there yet. And it usually takes a starter. I feel like it takes a starter generally a little bit of time to get adjusted to their new environment. So it's not a bad thing if you're going to contend, and not in 2022, but 2023, to bring in Stroman so he can kind of get a feel for being a Cub and insulate himself in that clubhouse so he's not a new person coming into a season that has a little bit more at stake. So I think you do go after Stroman. I think you go after any arm that can benefit you deeper than and down the line, because those guys are irreplaceable as far as. You don't have to say, if I pick up a shortstop, I'm stuck with this guy for 4 years and I have all these prospects coming up. A pitcher, you can find a spot for a good arm every time. Crochet is a great example. Steele is a good example, stretching him out. But Crochet is going to eventually get stretched out. But right now, he's more valuable in a relief role. You're able to fill in the blanks with really good talent. So I think you always go after the arms. I don't think the Cubs need to. I know it's tempting. It really is tempting, but it's a waste of money. To me, if that's just making signing someone for the sake of signing someone because they're good, but is it going to make the Cubs that much better? Will they be able to handle another year of blowing stuff up? That's unfair to some of those guys too. But if you could sign a guy that's willing to say, stick, Willie keeps saying, I'm totally okay with being a part of a rebuild. I don't actually think that Willie knows what it feels like to be. He's the guy that broke a damn TV in the dugout right before the All-Star break after going to the media and going nuts. And that was with a good team. Imagine being on a team where...
Well, no, that was the team that started to lose. This has to
be the Cubs' train of thought this season.
I would. I would.
You go get Carlos Correa.
Carlos Correa is really good. But that's the thing. Carlos Correa, he's probably going to get close to $300 million. I don't think at this point the Cubs are going to be like, yep, front of the line. Sucks.
Yeah. So,
well,
it is... interesting.
We have some interesting baseball coming up. As we are now in September, so the playoff. What do you want to call it? Push or
stretch run. Sox. Do you want Zoe? Do you want the Sox to lose a couple games to get interesting?
No.
Have that Cleveland series mean a little something? Come on.
Nope, not at all.
Fighters are on their toes, moving forward. Losers are on their heels, moving backwards. They got to go forward. And Tony La Russa is about to amp it up even more. Watch.
And again, we've talked about it on the show. It's so nice to have a manager, a guy in charge who has not only done this before, but have done it before successfully. That's why when I see Lance Lynn going on the DL or some of this other shit, it's like, it's part of his plan, dude. Is he perfect? No. But is it better to have a guy who's done it before than somebody who's just trying to figure it out? I would say so.
Do you feel like this? I feel like they're figuring out how to manipulate the newer injury list rules too.
Oh, without a doubt.
That's evolution, I guess, too. So it's because again, the old DL stuff and all that, this is neat to see them using it as an opportunity to rest players and get other players reps, staying sharp and not non-contending, still being good, but giving guys intermittent rest. Rodon did well tonight, right? The rest seemed to pay off. He went 5? Did he go 5 or did he go back out for the 6th? I didn't look at I looked at it.
I think it was just 5.
Yeah. Okay. So he went 5, gave up 5 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 5 Ks, in and out, got his work in, healthy, looks good. Next time up, maybe he'll extend a little bit more, but right now you're getting him right again. And he seems right out of the gate. So it's working.
Holy shit. Shelby Miller's pitching for the Pirates right now.
Cubs legend.
I just wow.
I think Shelby Miller started that game for the Cubs this year. Or was
Really?
it last year? I don't. Was it last year?
It seemed to all blend together right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
this is all blended together.
Oh, Grandal showing the wheels.
Oh, double!
Hit a ball that hit the wall and still almost got thrown out at second base. That's fantastic.
There's nothing more funny. What was it? Chirinos for the Cubs. Cubs catcher yesterday in Minnesota. He should have had, or 99% of players would have had it inside the park home run. He was like chugging to get to third base.
Stop, play the piano between second and third around shortstop. Starts playing Beethoven on the piano on his back. Hops back off.
I think during the Sox series too, the catcher for the Cubs, Romine, when he scored like on a, I think it was like on a double, and he like barely scored.
Fast. How about that too? That's the first triple of the season by a Cubs catcher. I mean, that to me is like, considering Willie has pretty good wheels. He just hasn't
not a lot of gap. Yeah,
ball in the right spot. Yeah, I guess that's crazy though. That's a first triple for that spot, that position is it's a long time to get there. I mean, you obviously.
Zoe, why don't you make Grandal your guy? Because there's still people, a lot of people who don't like him.
There's a good section of White Sox Twitter where Grandal's their guy.
That's true. So who's your guy now? Sheets? Is this official?
This is official.
But like, is he going to stay up the whole time?
But when he's not here, then I'm going Vaughn.
There you go. See, I don't know why Vaughn.
Just stick with Vaughn.
No, I really like Sheets though.
Okay, all right.
I think what.
Well, no, when Sheets isn't on the team, you have to be complaining. Why isn't Sheets on the team?
Well, yeah,
if he's your guy,
but I still need a guy.
In the contract, you must complain.
Right, but I think the thing that put me over the top with Sheets is on Instagram. He hosted the Charlotte Knights fantasy football draft, and he's the commissioner of the league.
Okay, all right.
So,
any good advice?
Remember, we had this discussion. I judge a lot of my fandom for guys that I want to drink a 30 rack of Busch Light with, and after seeing that with Sheets, I'm like, all right, I'll fuck with this guy. So that and he hits bombs.
Yeah. I like his nickname that some Sox Twitter has for him. Gavin Bonds.
Gavin Bombs?
Gavin Bonds after Barry Bonds.
I don't know about all that. I don't know.
All he does is hit bot. Like, look at it. I think he has like 5 home runs, and
I mean, yes, but I don't know.
Have fun with it, Zoe. Come on, Gavin Bonds.
No, you know me, and you know one of my biggest pet peeves on draft night is when they're like, "This kid could be the next Mike Trout." I fucking hate it when people do that. So,
by the way, I do want to remind you, this guy shut the White Sox out. I just want to make sure that anybody that sees this picture shut the White Sox out on Saturday.
For the people listening at the last week's from the One Away podcast, I said I didn't think it was going to be a shutout, but I said Sox fans are going to be frustrated when Alec Mills leaves the game and you guys didn't score as many runs as you thought. I was right.
I feel like it did set Hendricks up to get lit though, because they saw like the same dude basically 3 days in a row.
Oh yeah, for sure. And like, I don't know, they were a little.
So I think the last few times Hendricks has been brutal against the Sox. The Sox just destroy that sinker and changeup.
We talked about it on the 108. There's a couple guys in that lineup that just have a good swing, keep their hands back. Abreu, Luis Robert, Eloy. Those guys will have success because they have hand strength power with just their hands. Like they don't need the lower half to hit a baseball 400 feet, and they can sit back and hit a baseball hard just with their upper body. And that's what those guys did. And you saw it against Kyle. I mean, he got lit by those, especially I think Robert, right? He hit 2 jacks that day. It was like 8 earned runs.
At least one of them. I just saw the comment from Alex talking about Correa and free agency.
Yeah.
Like Detroit's been interesting. If they get Carlos Correa, that's going to be fun next year in the AL Central. Detroit has some pitchers.
I really don't want to see Carlos Correa on the Detroit. No, and you got to think now that Miggy has hit his milestones.
He's about to retire. Yeah,
Miggy might ride off into that sunset and get them out of that money for opening it. Dude, Detroit, I said it before the season even started. I know it's on one of these fucking shows that Detroit is going to be better than people think they're going to be. And they have a lot of good young pitching and a lot of good young talent. And if they get a guy like Carlos Correa, that could be a fucking problem.
I mean, Detroit Tigers heading into Wednesday night or after today's game against the A's that they won. 8-6. They're six. I mean, they're still below 500. We're 63-71.
What's the record after the All-Star break?
After the All-Star, I think it's even longer than that. Let's see. Detroit Tigers, because weren't they at a stretch where like they had one of the best records or something? It was like there was like a certain stretch of time where like they were like 10 games above 500 or something. Let's see here. But Carlos Correa, man, that guy's gonna get paid. He's gonna be the one that gets the biggest contract, right? This offseason?
Carlos Correa?
Yeah.
Yes.
So let's see. They were 41 and 50. They were 40 and 51 heading into the All-Star break. And now they're at 63 and 71. So they're what, 23 and something?
I'm not doing math.
23 and 20. So they've been above 500.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it goes even before that. They started to get hot before, like back in, like in the first half.
But they got that. They have like Casey Mize. They got that kid with the dreads that was an All-Star, the reliever. Was it Soto or what's his last name?
It's one of them.
Yeah, but he's fucking good. Like they got a lot of really good young pitchers. If they had a Carlos Correa to the mix, yeah, they're still probably a year or two away. But like, that's a good fucking young team. And the White Sox are a good fucking young team. And Cleveland, I don't know what the fuck they're doing, but the White Sox-Detroit rivalry, I'm here for a good old Chicago-Detroit rivalry for the next 10 years. So
it's been a while because recently it's been White Sox-Cleveland or White Sox-Twins.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, White Sox-Tigers. Let's get that going.
Sign me up for that. Let's go. But
Fun dynamic.
All right, everybody. For Aldo Fids, I'm Zoe. That's an hour and a half. We love all of you. Be good to each other, and we'll see you guys next week.